Parsboro Community Radio listeners. Welcome to Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial. We'd like to thank Kanza as the sponsor for our show.
For those of you who are not aware, Kanza is Cumberland County's only Careers Nova Scotia Centre and a vital participant in this area's road to prosperity. This year, Kanza is celebrating 15 years of serving the area and providing valuable employment and educational opportunities. Our goal for Exploring the Neighborhood is to take you on a series of half-hour adventures that include road trips, candid interviews, and commentaries.
We'll focus on the area's homegrown businesses, unique landmarks, and emerging talent. We're hoping to shine a well-deserved light on the local endeavors that promote eco-friendliness and self-sufficiency.
And we're here, Debbie and Thor and Debbie, for another episode of Exploring the Neighborhood.
Hello.
And we've had a crazy summer.
Yes, incredibly busy. I'm glad it's come to an end.
So many relatives. I didn't know we had that many.
I don't know if they'll be back next year.
I don't think so.
So let's embrace the moment.
We toured and toured and toured Cumberland County, but we didn't even come close to seeing everything. Every time we went out, we discovered something new.
Yep.
And so, yesterday we were in Parsboro.
Yes, we were.
For the film festival, hanging out with Helen Tyson, Laurie Lynch, and a whole bunch of people that were very curious about film.
Yeah, I hope you guys got to go down and check it out. They do show some really nice films, and if you didn't make it this year, definitely check it out next year.
Absolutely. There are 2 film festivals, and we've gone to both of them now, and both were a success. The one from Pugwash to Tatamagouche was wonderful last year, and Parsboro was great this year. We got to meet the drone guys.
Yes, the guy that flies the drones. And their specialty is filming lighthouses.
They are on a mission to film every lighthouse in Nova Scotia, and they said there were...
Oh, I can't remember the exact number, but close to 200.
180, somewhere around there.
Right.
Some of them were falling apart, but they were trying to capture every single lighthouse that still exists in Nova Scotia. Their names are Larry Payton and Corey Webb. And I can't pronounce the name of their company, but just call them the drone guys. And thank God they were there, because I was there to talk about drones. And besides having worked on a lot of films that included drones, I don't really know much about flying the drones or shooting from them. I just know what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to replace helicopters. So I was really, really grateful for Larry and Corey being there and just explaining to the people how these things function.
Yeah, it was a nice time.
We were there to represent a film we did in Long Beach,
California. Size Matters 2.
With Mike Ryan and a new guy called Daniel Levitt from Switzerland. Now, Mike Ryan is a legendary stunt driver, and he is the Pikes Peak champion. Anyone who's into hot trucks and hot engines will know Pikes Peak is quite the event.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. We were at Ottawa House.
Yes, we were there for...
Caretakers Paranormal Investigations.
Yep.
And that is hosted by Bruce and Charlene, who's a husband and wife team. And they brought all kinds of equipment. And we played in the dark.
We did.
It was kind of strange.
I felt something. I thought it was you, but then I realized no one was there.
I was always ahead, and I kept going on my own.
So why don't we tell them what they do?
They had all kinds of techno gadgets.
Other gear.
All their gear. I'd love to go into it, but I couldn't possibly explain it as well as they did. But they had night vision sensors. They had audio, high frequency recordings. They had...
There's a name for
There's
it.
a technical name for it.
We're brain dead.
The Army would know. Call the Army.
Yeah. I know there's an app you can get
They
it for
spy
your
on
phone.
you with that stuff all the time. No, but it was fun. Bruce and Charlene, they're out of Truro, and their mission is to investigate every paranormal activity around Colchester, Cumberland counties.
Which means they will be coming to our house.
Yeah, because we got too many weird things going on.
Yeah, we have visitors. Not every day, but every once in a while.
Speaking of visitors, let's tell them about our tours that we didn't talk about. We went down to Great Village. There were a whole lot of antique shops there.
Oh, yes.
Great Village Antiques, Claire's Classic Antiques, and the Collector's Corner. And you visited them all.
Yep. And I found an antique prosthetic leg that I wanted really bad, but my dad wouldn't pay for it. So
neither would I.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I did not get that prosthetic leg that I could just decorate the room with, put it up in a corner somewhere.
But don't cry. We did get a jumbo-sized espresso maker from Italy.
Oh, it's huge.
It makes 6 espressos at once. It's incredible, and it keeps us excited.
Caffeinated.
Pumped up. Then, from there, we went to Bass River. And they had a shop there that specialized in what seemed to be strange, unique items. Things that were being sold under the name Dominion Chair.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
No.
That's because you weren't around in 1860 when they first started as Union Furniture. Just thought I'd point that out.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense now.
They're also known as Bass River Chairs, but they no longer make chairs.
Was I with you that day? Maybe that was you and your father that went on that trip, because I don't remember.
We were with your dad and your sister.
Oh.
And they had all this crazy furniture made out of wood, like actual trees.
Oh, was it in that gas station place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I remember I wanted to get candy.
Yeah, they had like 3 floors.
Yep.
And
yes, I remember now.
It was kind of spooky, especially the washroom.
Why?
I don't know.
You're spooked out in that place?
Maybe we should call strange.
Caretakers Paranormal guys.
Paranormal Investigations. And then after that, we had more fun. We went to Economy, that Dutchman's cheese farm, and the zoo.
Oh, yes, the animals, my favorite.
And I didn't realize they sold so many types of black licorice for fanatics of black licorice. And I suppose you have to be European or have had that influence. I know your dad, who'd spent time in Holland, he was crazy about it.
Yep, he liked it.
And I was used to getting my care packages from Denmark and Germany, and they always included black licorice.
All I wanted was a pair of the wooden Holland shoes.
But instead we bought cheese, which we never ate because your dad took it.
Yep, there you go.
He confiscated and took it back to Arkansas.
That's okay, though. I already have a pair of wooden shoes from my dad when he lived in Holland.
Well, you stole from him. He stole from you. Sounds like a family tradition.
There you go.
Borrowed is more the term. We also had a chance to hang around Springhill and do the things that people are supposed to do. We toured the mine.
Yeah, we did that with my father.
Got to see the mining museum.
Yep.
Saw all kinds of old stuff. Helmets, breathing devices.
Yeah, it was a nice little tour, actually. You know, we all know what a miner is, but when you go through the tour and they tell you in detail their work day, it really does kind of make you appreciate how easy life is, and it's sad.
But according to someone, coal mining is coming back. And someone went to the Anne Murray Center.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, I think it was my dad.
Did he go?
He did. He's the only one who ended up going to the Anne Murray Center. We had a big event planned because your dad was there the day that Anne Murray was coming, and we all decided to have a beer instead.
Oops.
My dad went to the museum, though. Also, we got to see the Isabel Simpson Heritage Center, which had all kinds of neat things, including daggers, lots of dolls. And
yeah, it's a nice little museum.
We've seen a lot of museums this year. The Creamery in Tatamagouche comes to mind.
Yep. What's scary, though, as we go through these museums, we see things that we own and some of the things we actually still use, like a washboard, things like that, some of the kitchen items. So it's kind of cool to go around and go, oh, we have that. And it's just neat to go back in time, the old days. Very nostalgic.
Also got to see Tyson's Fine Minerals in Parsboro. It's very impressive.
Oh, yeah.
They have left the scientific world and they've gone into the artistic world.
It's beautiful.
All works of art.
Incredible. I've never seen anything like it before.
There are rocks that look more like flowers or delicate petals. We got to buy more lobster at Chase's.
Yep, and next time I'm getting a 2-pounder. Just for me.
They do have bigger than that too, so
well,
you might
I know,
want to consider that.
Yeah, but I got 1 1/4. Wasn't enough.
We got to hang out at Heather Beach again.
Yes, dip our toes in the water.
I went with my dad to Tatamagouche again, and we got to hang out at the train station inn and restaurant. The service was incredible. The food was excellent. My dad was very happy, and he got to wear the conductor's cap for a photo.
I wasn't there, but I got to see some pictures. I really want to go sometime.
It is really nice.
They have rooms you can stay at?
They do. The season's changing. Summer's over. Fall has kicked in a big way, and I feel like winter's right around the corner.
Well, you know, all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray.
But we're not going to California, are we? We're staying right here.
Actually, we're not California dreaming at all. We love it here.
And we're getting ready for Halloween, hunting season. We just had foliage.
Hey, what are you going to dress up as for Halloween?
That's a good question. I think it'll be orange.
Orange? You'll kind of come close to matching my outfit because I'm going to go as a deer.
A deer? Wait till hunting season's over, please.
Okay.
Foliage was beautiful. The leaves were magnificent. But I think what I was most impressed with was blueberry fields.
Oh, I know. It's absolutely gorgeous. If only I could paint.
They were brighter red than any leaf I'd seen on a maple tree. They glowed.
Like a Japanese maple tree. They get really, really, really bright red like that.
The tidal bore, we got to see, we actually filmed the wave.
Yes, I filmed it.
And that was only 2 days before Chris did.
Yeah. And actually, ironically, when I looked at the footage, we were standing exactly in the same spot. Or our cameras were adjusted to the same spot. Kind of neat. But we caught the first wave coming in through the tidal bore.
And we now know exactly where to put the camera to get the full effect of that wave. Because there's places where it actually goes up to 2 feet.
Yep.
If you have never seen the tidal bore wave come through, you really should take the time. Now, it's not a tsunami. It's not mind-boggling.
Can't surf it.
Well, no, I wouldn't surf it. But it is impressive because it goes all the way up each tidal bore.
And does it twice a day.
We also got to film Frank's cows.
Moo.
Hundreds, if not 1,000 cows crossing from one pasture into another.
I don't think it was 1,000.
I don't think so either, but it was several hundred at least. It was an impressive herd regardless.
He was moving the cows to another pasture, and we caught them on film as they were crossing the road.
I was kind of worried that one of the cows was going to eat the camera at one point. I'd left it really low in the ground.
I gave him that look because I said, if you go eat my camera, and then he took off.
They did. But it was quite impressive. He does have a lot of cows. I don't think that was his entire herd, but there were many hundred cows. It was pretty spectacular.
Yep.
We got new roofs. We got one on the Joggins place and one in the Springhill place. So we're looking forward to this winter with metal roofs instead of leaky roofs.
Heck yeah.
Be a different frame of mind. Not to worry about leaks. And then we have a little bit more somber event coming soon. Remembrance Day. And that is a special day for us from now on because you lost your mom last Remembrance Day.
Yep. Exactly that day.
And we were not unhappy that it was Remembrance Day because there were so many birthdays lined up around Remembrance Day that it was tricky. It would have landed on her birthday, your son's birthday, or my birthday. And she managed to pick Remembrance Day.
She did not want to die on anyone's birthdays.
No. And this year we will remember all those that have fallen before us.
Most definitely.
And that leads into this segment produced by Remembering Canada's Heroes, letting people remember the important people that have come before.
In 1940, Britain was under siege. There were bombers coming from Germany. They were bombing the airfields in Britain. And fortunately, the airfields were able to be repaired quickly enough that the Air Force was able to continue to get its Spitfire and Hurricane fighters off the ground in sufficient numbers and with sufficient fuel, some of which came from Canada, to defeat the Luftwaffe. In 1940, their next stepping point would have been the Irish coast. Southern Ireland was neutral throughout the war, and then they would have occupied Newfoundland. Newfoundland would have been a stepping stone into all of Eastern Canada and perhaps into the United States. We have to remember that in 1939, 1940, and 1941, Newfoundland was not a province of Canada. It joined Canada in 1949. All through the war, Newfoundland was a colony of Great Britain. And if Germany had succeeded in invading Britain, then the next logical place would have been Newfoundland, and it would have been very dire consequences for everyone.
My name is Ray Coulson. I'm the curator of the Nova Scotia Highlanders Regimental Museum in Amherst, Nova Scotia on Katie Street. One of the items we have in our museum is a collage of handprints from Authie, France. And the reason that we have these is that it goes back to the North Nova Scotia Highlanders when they were asked to liberate the town of Authie. Authie was a small town, and what the Germans did when they moved into Authie, they took over the high school because this was an ideal location for the Germans to set up battalion headquarters. So the Germans were held up in this school, and the North Nova Scotia Highlanders were asked to liberate them. So they pretty well blew the school down to get the Germans out. Now, most troops in the field would look on that as collateral damage, and they just move on to the next objective. When they came home in 1947, Sergeant Major Bill Bailey started a letter-writing campaign to all the memory clubs across Canada, of which there were 20 or so, and he asked them every year prior to the reunion to send him a check that he could send on for the Children of Authie Fund in France. And this they did for a number of years. And they rebuilt the school. They rebuilt the shed out back of the school for their toys and their implements outside. And more than that, they named the school Bill Bailey School, which is quite an honor. And they also named the street Rue Pictou that was out in front of the school. And they built a little shed, and they had a little sign on it saying Pictou. So Pictou and Bill Bailey and the North Nova Scotia Highlanders are well remembered overseas. When we go to New Glasgow or Pictou and we mention Bill Bailey's name, nobody seems to recognize it. And these are the type of things that we're trying to do with the schools, is say, all right, to people in Nova Scotia, that you do have real bona fide heroes. And they are here, and they're still living here. And you should recognize them.
And that was presented by Remembering Canada's Heroes, a local organization based here in Springhill and very closely associated with the Armory and the North Nova Scotia Highlanders Regimental Museum and Ray Coulson. So, what do we have in store for the future? Well, there's a whole lot of people we did not get a chance to interview yet, and I have not forgotten a single one. We're going to interview all those people. We've got Barbara Lemon, Mines in Springhill, and Murray Center. And we did want to talk to the people at the other museum here as well. Then there's also Robert Moore, who's now the director for Parsborough Creative. We wanted to talk to Helen Tyson, and we also wanted to visit McRae's Custom Knives. And that's just a small fraction of all the people that we had talked to that we want to interview. Haven't had a chance yet. But the good news is that all our relatives have gone home. Your dad's gone back to
Arkansas, and he is making beer. That is one thing he got to learn from you, Thor.
We sampled all the beers we could, and then he drank mine, and he was determined to make his own.
Yep, and he's been doing very well at it.
As we see every phone call.
Yep, he has to brag about it.
Yep. And my parents have returned to Niagara Falls, and they're headed down to Florida in the next month.
Crazy.
And of course, our children have gone back to where they came from. My daughter and her new fiance is back in California, and your son is
back in Alabama.
And he's doing very well, isn't he?
Yep. He's going to college.
Scholarships?
On scholarships, yep, 2 of them.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
He is determined to come back, though.
Yes, next summer.
And he wants to hang out at 2 different places, maybe 3.
He wants to hang out at the Parsborough Geological Center and also at Joggins Fossil Museum.
He would probably want to hang out at the Tysons.
Most definitely.
Find gems.
Yes,
and
he's huge
minerals.
into geology. Yes.
Yep. And he would be a great addition to either museum, actually. He's very in tune with the fossil world. We also got to meet the Make-Believers family when we were visiting your dad at the RV park. It was an enlightening experience that so many people would gather at this RV park in Amherst and be camped
All summer long.
all summer
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, some people actually they live there.
Yeah.
They have decks permanently attached to their trailers.
The entertainment was great. We got to see a few performers. Wonderful. We did get to meet Make Believers family, and they were from Branson, Missouri. They travel everywhere.
Yep.
Authentic, what would you call it? American roots music with a gospel edge to it.
Hillbilly.
Okay, hillbilly gospel. They were great though.
Mountain music.
Yeah,
I
it is
guess.
mountain music.
Yeah. But southern.
Didn't you find the little girl had pizzazz to her?
She was cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to be a star. You can see it in her eyes.
The mom was handling 2 children.
I think it was on about 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a newborn that she wore
She
in
wore
the holder
during the performance.
against her chest during the whole performance. And she was up there playing the bass, the stand-up bass with a baby hanging off her.
What an incredible family. I don't know how they do it. Their schedule is crazy. They travel all around. They were headed from Amherst to Prince Edward Island, followed by Cape Breton. A 3-day hop.
Yep.
For any touring band, that's quite...
I think they said they stay gone 22 weeks out of the year, and they homeschool their children.
And the rest of the time they spend in Branson, Missouri.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting family, wonderful people.
Very nice people.
Can't say anything but nice things about them. The RV park was just a surprise as well.
It was nice because it's the closest one that I knew my dad would want to stay at since he came up in his RV, and he liked it.
We saw another nice one though in Spencer Island. That's where I'd want to be.
Yep, right there on the beach.
With the lighthouse.
Okay, time has run out. If you'd like to contact us, our email is scotiaheritageproductions@gmail.com.
When it comes to local business, arts, crafts, and entertainment, we'll try our best to provide a global perspective on our community and remind listeners that where one regularly chooses to spend their money is often much more powerful than the occasional vote at the ballot box.
So, help out your talented neighbors and enjoy the unique diversity of what Cumberland, Westmoreland has to offer. And ultimately, you'll be helping yourself. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Exploring the Neighborhood is sponsored by Kansa, your Careers Nova Scotia Centre.
So, tune in next week for another episode of Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial.